Hi everyone, this is Alert Day Trading. I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to make a quick video on the trades I took today and talk a little bit about risk to reward and just a quick advice on using YouTube settings. You can increase the playback speed to about 1.25 or 1.5 if you want to try and watch this video a little quicker. And so quickly, I just took a trade. I took 3 entries on RUN and 2 entries on NIO. And on RUN, I'm still holding. I have some trailing stop losses at the moment, some limit orders, but all of that's in profits, so that's doing really well. I'll just kind of quickly show you how I entered that trade. So if we look at the monthly chart, you'll see we're trading at all-time highs. So then you zoom in, you go to the weekly chart, still looking good, and then the daily chart, and you can see we're pushing above these all-time highs still. And so then we zoom in, and I always start with the 1-minute chart, and you can see here, a little messy, so I wasn't really paying attention. As you can also see, I just kind of got stopped out a little bit on some of my holding. That's okay. It's locking in some profits. And then I looked at the 3-minute, still a little messy. And the 5-minute was nice and clean. So as you can see, we're pushing up higher. Had a nice pullback. And I bought in right here. The stop loss right here. We did kind of test these levels a little bit, a little consolidation here. As you can see, we pushed up higher. So the entry was about $30.77, and we pushed up to $33.27, so that's about $2.50. But what's more important is how much you're risking, not how much you're making. So if we figure out how much we risked, so about $30.80 to about $30.37. So looking to be about 45 cents, 50 cents of risk. And so if we go back to our gains, we made about $2.50 to the highs. We're risking about 50 cents. So as of now, the trade ended up being a risk to reward of 5 to 1. So that's really good. If you can, at the minimum, get a risk to reward of 2 to 1, then you're doing really good, I think. And if you can get to 3, even better. But this one worked out really well, about 5 to 1 risk to reward. I took an entry at 30.70s, and then let's see here. I also used the 10-minute chart, and that was another entry I took. And another entry I took was the 1-minute chart, because we were seeing a pullback after we broke these highs again. We saw a pullback. I entered around 31.32. So you can see right here, as we broke above the red line right here, that was the highs earlier in the morning. And so just following my rules, as soon as the stock breaks the all-time high, I trade the pullback. I thought the volume was okay, so I felt comfortable with it, and we were trending higher. So I thought it was a good re-entry. I was still holding from the previous trade, so I was just kind of adding to my position, even though it's just, I treat it like a separate trade. And so that risk to reward ended up being a nice one as well. I was risking, about 30 cents. So 31.30s, and we went all the way up to 33, so that's about $2. So that's about a 6 or 7 to 1 risk to reward. So that trade was nice. And then my third final entry for RUN, I used the 5-minute chart. And here you can see, after we pushed up, I kind of missed that entry right there. I could have, I didn't miss that. I went in with the 1 minute, but I could have included the 5-minute entry, so I could have just had a higher position at that moment. But then I saw here a pullback, and we're kind of holding above the EMA. We pushed, made a new high, so I felt comfortable with this trade. And so this trade, I'm still currently in. You can see we're pulling back, but I'm not going to take any of this trade just because we are in the lunchtime period, so I avoid making trades after 12 Eastern. Usually we don't see too much follow through. So if let's see, we entered at 32.30s, and the stop loss was under 31.80, so that's about 50 cents right there. So 32.30s getting up to 33, almost 30. So that's almost a 2 to 1 risk to reward. So that trade also did well. And like I said, I haven't said this, but I was taking profits along the way. But once we hit that lunchtime hour, I pretty much just set all my stop losses at break even and put a trailing stop loss, put a couple limit orders just to make sure I'm getting my 2 to 1 risk to reward. But as you can see, I am getting stopped out. But again, I'm well into profits, so I'm just kind of locking in profits and kind of hopeful that the trade can continue, the trend can continue, and maybe lock in some more profits. But it looks like I am getting stopped out here, and I still have a small position at the moment. We'll see if it can continue in the uptrend, but basically the whole point of the focusing on risk to reward is that whatever strategy you're using, you need to make sure that you're taking your statistics, and there's a whole breakdown on this. I'm not really going to get into it, but basically if your strategy is a 50% winning percentage, then you need to always make sure you're at least winning just a little bit more than you're losing, and then you will be profitable, right? So if you focus on your risk to reward, if your strategy is, when it's right, at least averaging 1 to 2 winning of your risk, and then when you're losing your trades, you're not losing more than 1, then your strategy should be profitable. Obviously you want more than just 1 or 2. You want to be making at least 2, and then anything above that is really great in most of your trades. And that doesn't mean you're going to make twice as much as you're losing every trade, but the average should be at least about twice as much as you're losing. But anyway, it all depends on your winning percentage. So if your winning percentage is below 50%, but you have a risk to reward of 3 or 4 to 1 on average of all your trades, you should still end up being profitable. And if your winning percentage is 60 or 75%, then you might be able to afford not making as much on every trade, and you still might be profitable. So if you have more questions about that, let me know and we can talk more about it. But basically, you really want to focus on the risk to reward of your strategy and the average of the risk to reward. So after maybe 50 or 100 trades, how much are you making? Divide that by how much you're risking, and so on, and you should end up with hopefully a risk to reward that's in your favor, also depending on your winning percentage. So if you have any more questions about that, let me know. Quickly, just to kind of journal my other trade, I took a trade on NIO. I took 2 losses on this one, but they were both small losses. And as we broke above this level right here, I think I missed this entry, so that would have been a profitable trade. But then I took this pullback, and this one you can see we turned right back around and kind of downtrended. So I took a small loss right there. And I took another entry. I used the 15-minute chart on this one, and you can see we broke up above. Well, we broke above these highs, we pulled back, and as we broke back above, that's when I entered. But we never reached the previous high. Just kind of made a lower high, and seems like it's consolidating right now. But with RUN making profits, I kind of just wanted to get out of this trade, and I just kind of put a stop loss just below break even, just to see what happened. After I noticed we were, having a pullback without even reaching the highs, so that didn't look promising with low volume. So, and we did never reached my original stop loss level, but I'm okay with that. I felt like the trade, my trade idea, wasn't in play anymore. So other than just raising my stop loss, which is kind of going against my rule, but at the same time the trade idea changed, so I felt comfortable with kind of exiting the trade. Even if it did continue, I would have been okay with taking that small loss. And as you can see, I think I am completely out of RUN. Let's take a look. I still have as you can see, very, very small trailing stop. I took most of my position in profits as we were pushing higher. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you are learning from my videos. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you did like this video, go ahead and push that like button. So I look forward to making the next video. And again, hopefully you're learning from all of this information I'm sharing. And good luck with the rest of your day and your trading.